So good morning, everyone. We are the Natural Language Processing team. I'm Isa, and my teammates are Keith and Ivan. So the goal of this project was to create an easy-to-use search engine tool that can help the analysts at Dumac's investment office to quickly assess PDF documents based on keyword relevance.
Yeah, so we made the whole website basically using Python and Django, which is a library for helping make web applications with Python. And so one of the first things we had to do with this search engine is for each document, track how many times each word occurs in there. And so one of the things that helped with that is what's called word stemming, which is where if you have words like price, prices, pricing, priced, you just treat them all as price. And that really helps to reduce the number of words you have to track. So does ignoring words like the, of, and, a. So yeah, we can find, easily with that table, find, how many times any word occurs in each document. But, if someone searches like oil prices, well, we also want to find, how many times that phrase occurs in each document. So we had an algorithm for that. And then, once the query comes in, we had, our ranking algorithm to find out what are the most important documents. So we gave the users two options for that on the site. There's like the default choice, and then there's another one which basically, like if you looked up China, it would just give you the top result would just be the document that says China the most times. So yeah, they're pretty similar, but a little bit of a difference. Yeah, Ivan.
So yeah, the client for our project is Dumac, which is the hedge fund that manages the Duke Endowment, as well as the Duke Pension Fund, as well as other Duke-related assets. The main type of documents that our tool needs to process are financial documents, and that would facilitate the research process conducted by professionals at the firm. Once we were ready with producing our code for the ranking algorithms, we were ready to proceed with implementing our final deliverable. And as Isa said, one of our goals was to create an easy-to-use application. And this is why we decided to proceed with a web application instead of a command line feature, which was also another way to go at one point. We also made sure that we address as many as possible of the needs that the Dumac team requested from us. And two such functionalities that deserve to be noted are the date filter and the user filter that we developed. For the date filter, it is important to note that financial documents lose a lot of their information value very fast after they have been published. This is because many financial research documents may have as an objective to predict what the future would result for a specific set of financial assets. And after this future moment has passed by, the comparative advantage that comes from reading through such a document deteriorates a lot. And the other filter that we developed was the user filter. This would be a very useful feature for those cases when a member of the Dumac team or a group of investment professionals at the firm work on a very niche market, for example, a very niche market, and they would really want to see as the output of our search algorithm only those documents that are specifically dedicated to this niche market. And therefore, an easy solution for this would be for the user to select themselves and only and the other members of their team with whom they are working, so that the documents that can be seen on the output would be only those that the specific user has uploaded. And yeah.
Yeah, so for a future version of this tool, we would want to be able to kind of automate file uploads directly from Dumac's OneDrive system, also automate PDF downloads from external website links, being able to link every preview to the exact location in the text and improve the scalability of the overall tool. And now Keith will do a live demo of how it works right now.
Yeah, so here's the site. It's currently searching through like 200 documents. Yeah, I can do a search. You can see, how many of these previews do I want? And the way these previews work, so if I'm searching inflation, basically, so the first preview, it's going to find the first time that the word inflation occurs in the document, and then basically just print out the sentence containing it. And if I did like 3, then the second one is going to be, it's going to find the second time that inflation occurs, and it's going to like print out the sentence containing that, and so on. So yeah, you can also filter, number of results, when it was uploaded, which of those ranking algorithms you want. You can choose who uploaded it. You can also do, you can select like multiple people. So all uploaded by Isa or Keith. And then there's this upload page. You can upload new documents, and you can remove documents that are in the collection. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for listening. Any questions?
Thanks a lot. So I guess I'll start with the question, which is there's, I guess how does your model sort of so if you search for inflation, I could see like a number of different ways of wanting to query inflation. One is how often inflation appears in the article, but another one could be the importance of the word inflation within the article. And I was just wondering if you could delve in a little bit and to see, like, I mean, how are you making those decisions? Like, and if you are going to do this based on importance, how do your models determine importance?
Yeah, for a one-word search like this, it's basically looking at like the proportion. So, like it's taking into account the document size. So, a huge document that says inflation a couple times, it's going to be ranked lower than, a smaller document that says it the same number of times. I mean, we didn't do anything terribly fancy. It was just hard to, try out new stuff and say like, oh, this helped, or oh, this didn't, because, we just didn't really have a good supervised way to evaluate the search results. Yeah, and then, yeah, the people at the investment office, they were telling us that what they might want is, maybe they just want the document that says inflation the most times. So that's what this option would give you. I mean, the results are pretty similar, like if you do either one.
Sorry, so what was the difference between most messages and default?
Oh, yeah, so this one, it is just doing, the top document is just going to be the one that says inflation the most times. Whereas with the default one, it's also going to take into account like the size of the document. So yeah, does that answer the question?
So larger documents are more important?
No, it's more like I guess it's like what proportion of the words in here are inflation.
I got it. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So the fraction of the word, some type of the fraction of the words are, yeah, I got you. Cool. I guess I could imagine testing something like this could be remarkably hard, because you're giving a bunch of documents, and if the users are happy with the documents they're getting, then great. But maybe there's some other document that you aren't presenting that they could have wanted, and then so it's so yeah, so I can appreciate the challenges that would go into this. I guess if you were going to go into like a sort of importance, did you think at all about sort of, thinking about the importance of the word within the sentences and weighting it that way, or could how hard would it be to do something like that? Or is that kind of beyond the scope of what you thought about this summer?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Oh yeah, just like what would it take to, I guess, do some type of, so you could do something where you could look at how important the word is inflation every time it appears, and the more important it is, the maybe the more often you'd want to return the document, or the higher up you'd rank the document. What could, what would go into doing something like that? Or and if you hadn't thought about it, that's fine. I just was curious about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's more complicated than anything we considered. Like we didn't really, we never considered, like looking at the context around the word and seeing, oh, it's really important in this context. Yeah.
Cool.
But, I mean, I think the way that it seemed like the way that they would be using this tool is they might do, they might kind of scroll through and look at like a bunch of sentences that contain the word inflation, and if they see something interesting, then maybe they click on the article and go to where it's got this sentence.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they told us that the collection of files would probably be like in the hundreds. At least that was like what they originally told us. But one improvement to make would be to improve the scalability of this, so that if it was to go up into the thousands, tens of thousands, then that it would be more efficient. I mean, we never really pushed the limits to see at what point does it really start slowing down. So yeah, I guess that would definitely be something to test out in the future if they continue to work with this.
Do you I guess I guess it's just the added computational cost would just be the fact that you're searching through all these documents and needing to build either some type of database of keywords, or just needing to do this kind of fresh every time you load in a new keyword, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Any other questions?
Yeah, any questions? I guess one thing I would be curious about is just to hear a little bit about the process of working with the DUMAC office, of iterating with them, of sort of how I'm sure building a tool for somebody else is quite an iterative and collaborative process. So I was just wondering if you could comment or talk about that at all.
Yeah. So originally they gave us their requirements for like, okay, this is what we want, and then kind of started working on it, and then we met with them once a week, sometimes more often than that. Just for a progress update, like, hey, do you like this idea? Is this good? I mean, I kind of wish we had, like we were meeting with two of our supervisors very often. I guess I kind of wish we had met with more people from the investment office to get, more of a variety of perspectives from the people who are going to be using this. Just to get more input on, what kind of features would be nice. But I think they seemed pretty satisfied with it, although they would probably continue to put in new features.
Yeah, I would just like to add that we did present to the different DUMAC teams like near the end, and we were able to get like valuable feedback from people who were actually going to use this tool.
Yeah.
I guess my next question would be, if you had another 5-10 weeks to work on this, what would be the next things you would start to focus on, in the next features you would be adding? Oh, feature version. Sorry, I missed
Yeah.
it.
So it's one of the things that they were telling us about in our last meeting is this linking the preview to the exact location. So it's like in here, it's saying, what they would want is to basically click on like this sentence, and it would open up the file right to the page with that. So currently, if I click on this link, it's just going to open up to the first page. But what they would want is, click on this and it opens you right to where it says that. And I think that would be doable in like a week. We just ran out of time. And then some other things, some of these like automatic downloads. So maybe they want to link to another site that has a bunch of SEC filings from, I don't know, Microsoft or some company. And like every time a new PDF is added to that page, get it into our collection. So that would be another thing to work on. And then, I guess just improving, testing out the scalability and seeing what changes we would need to make if the file collection got huge.
Yeah, I guess it does make sense that if you were going to try to search the raw text on starting to be thousands and thousands of files, that it would slow down. I guess what do you have a sense of like what your first attempt would be at improving that scalability?
I'm not sure. I mean, honestly, I think the searching would still be pretty fast, even if you got well into the thousands. It's just, I think the uploading process might be slowed down based on, I don't want to get into the details of how we handled that, but I mean, I really just don't know. Like we never really pushed the limits. So I guess the first thing to do would be, test it with a ton of documents and see how it does.
Yeah. But the conjectured bottlenecks would be the upload speeds, and you don't think the searching would be a bottleneck for quite a while?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I guess assuming that all the documents were uploaded on some server, then what would you conjecture would be the next bottleneck?
Yeah, I'm not really. I mean, so I think the thing that's slow in the upload process is like the way that we process the text and update all our like backend data. That is I don't know. We really just don't know how slow that would be with a huge number of documents.
Yeah.
And hey everyone, my name's Anna. I'm here from DUMAC. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
By the way, I'm testing out a new wire for my headphone, but I just wanted to chime in and say, how impressed we are with the work that these 3 talented students, did for us this summer. They started from scratch, and now we have a working prototype that we're working on deploying in our internal environment. And as Keith and Isa and team alluded to, there are some down the road features that we would like to build on top on, as a version 2.0 and beyond. But this is a great start in that, and to respond to something Keith said, I do wish they would have met with more DUMAC folks throughout, although Keith, you would have been bombarded with a lot of different, types of requests, some that may even conflict. So maybe save yourself on that one. But what's special about this tool is it won't be used just by one particular team. We had another team of Data Plus students that built a very specific dashboard for our public investments group. Whereas this, we're already discussing use cases, not just for our investment team, but for our legal and compliance team. They process large amounts of documents that they have to read. So the overarching goal of this tool is to use automation and these, smarter tools to help us read more efficiently. We have a lot of document flow, as Keith was talking about. There's like company filings that people may be going through. So rather, we know what we want to read, right? Let's say I'm setting out on a project. Should we be adding more European equity exposure? I have a set of documents probably that I know I want to read from various sources, a lot of them proprietary. But going through each one, doing Control F on Adobe Reader, it's just not efficient, right? So being able to have a tool like this where you can search multiple keywords, and we really like this like importance ranking model that the students built, particularly for multiple keywords. It's really powerful because you see these previews, you see your list, and it really helps you be discerning, but at the same time have a wide, breadth of, okay, what should I focus on, and read more thoroughly to answer these investment or legal, whatever questions you may be looking to answer. So long-winded way of saying thank you. And, it's a pleasure to work with all of you. And I know we're very excited to use this tool. I know I am. So. Thank
you. We enjoyed working with you too.
And thanks a lot for that, for all of that context. And yeah, it sounds great. I'm glad it was such a good experience. I guess one thing I'd like to just hear from the students to close out is, what do you guys have any concluding thoughts you'd like to share from your experience, from the technical side, the non-technical side, anything like that? Is just any kind of reflections you have on the process and the program?
I would, first off, just like to thank, Data Plus, for giving me, the opportunity to, work on a project like this with DUMAC. I personally, I've learned a lot. I have no coding, basically no coding experience coming into the project, and now I feel, more confident, in my abilities. When I'm moving on to like my next set of projects, I definitely felt like this was a valuable experience. I really liked, even though we didn't get to interact too much, with other people from DUMAC, we did get to hear some of them, come in, talk about like what they were doing in DUMAC. So I also really liked that I got that exposure. So yeah, overall, just big thank you.
Yeah, as Cisa said, the learning curve for Data Plus for me at least was very enjoyable, and I did get to learn a lot of new coding techniques, and I definitely got more confident in my abilities to start a project from scratch and have a finished result within a few months. So this was definitely great. And just getting an insight into what the research experience at an investment firm looks like was something that was also valuable to me.
Yeah, for me, it was nice getting some real world experience with coding. I'm probably going to go into software engineering, or well, that's I guess my goal for now. So, and this project definitely involved a lot of coding. It was good learning about Django and making websites. Like I didn't know anything about that until 3 weeks ago. So yeah, it was cool to learn something new and put it to use.
Yeah, and the demo, I love the demo. Like, and I probably should have said that earlier, but I love the demo. I mean, it looks very clean. This I know I know it's you've mentioned repeatedly this fear about scaling, but the way that it's operating now, at least on this demo, is incredibly quick. And I absolutely see the value that Anna was pointing out, that you want a way to control F on a lot of documents, and this is a great way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's thank the team for a really nice talk and a really nice demonstration.